Hi, I'm Junior Tebow. I'm here to give you my full uncensored review of 2025's SummerSlam. All right, so here we're going to start it off right real fast is what we're going to do. We're going to start it off with the women's championships, or the women's tag team championships, I should say. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I thought personally the match was okay. I mean, it wasn't like something that was out of sight or like it was the best match ever. I just think they're building up a storyline for Alexa and Charlotte. I'm glad that they did win the tag team championship. How long will they hold it? I don't know. Probably until Liv maybe comes back. That is a few months from now, so I can see them holding the championships until Survivor Series, or maybe even Royal Rumble, or maybe even they'll make it all the way to WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be a short-term championship run, is what I'm saying. So I'm glad that they're testing the waters with Charlotte and Alexa. They've been doing that for the last few weeks, seeing how people would react to them. It seems like they're starting to warm up to them. So that match, I would give maybe a B minus. It wasn't something that we hadn't seen before, or anything like that. So it was a solid B minus. We got the next up. We got the Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross match. I thought that how many times are you gonna let these people fight each other? I do think that Kross should have won. But that's because WWE management, I don't think, has much faith in Kross, even though the fan base does. And it seems to me that the WWE does not listen to the fan base very much. That's why there's not a lot of good matches lately. So I give this one, and I think I like Sammy, but they keep trying to say he's going to be world champion soon. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So the match itself was a C minus, like D plus, because it wasn't anything that I hadn't seen before. And I think that's a lot of the problem with the WWE product right now. All right, so going on to the next one, we had Tiffy Stratton and Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. I like this match. I think Jade should have won because you need some return matches for Tiffy to go for. I love Tiffy Stratton. I love Jade Cargill. I think that they could go and have quite a few good matches together. The match itself was pretty good. I would give it like a minus because there was a lot of go back and forth type thing. And mainly because, you kind of understood, like, for when she won the Queen of the Ring last month, it was coming. It was built up. Even when Stratton had gone against Trish, you knew Trish wasn't going to beat Tiffy. But it's not really a shocker that Tiffy beat Jade. I just think that for some reason, I think that WWE is going to play a certain card, and I'm surprised that they didn't. But the match itself, like I said, A minus. It wasn't bad. It was just that's why I don't give it an A plus, because there was still a lot in that match that could have gone forward. All right, the next match, I will tell you the kind of signature match that they were having for SummerSlam as a whole. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, which I'm not surprised that, Jelly Roll and Randy Orton lost. Because mainly, it was just a gimmick match. It was just not something. I'm surprised that WWE didn't let them win. But most of the time, it was just, not entertaining. It was kind of boring. And they making Logan Paul kind of look like a superstar, which you don't really want right now. And Drew McIntyre, the whole can't get back in time for the whole match type thing. But like I said, it's just a gimmick match. It didn't really have much to. It was just something like an attraction at a circus or something. It was just to see, a famous person outside of wrestling come in and do something. So the match itself was maybe a C minus, a D plus, because it wasn't that good. It was not that good. Um, so and it is right up there with my. And at the end, I'm gonna tell you which one is the worst match of the night. It's right up there. All right, so we got the next one is up is the Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, and the other two I know one is Braun Breaker and the other one is that's how much it entertained me that much. What the new faction they call Under Seth, which will play a little role later on in the night. Excuse me. Um, I found it was just a typical Roman Reigns match where he gets beat up throughout the match, and at the very end, Roman Reigns' matches are always kind of similar. Even when he was the champion, he gets beat up during the whole beginning of the match, and then he comes on strong, and then they have a little bit thing when the other one comes back, and um, and Roman winds up, pulling off pulling off the win. Well, in this case, Jay gets the pin, I think, if I remember correctly. The match itself, like I said, is a C minus. It's just not. It's not mind blowing. It's not anything that catches your eye or anything like that. Um, I think that they need to. I don't understand why Jay was not on Raw tonight. I don't see him get injured or anything like that. But Jay has really gone downhill since losing the title to Gunther. And like I said, this I give it maybe I'll go on the fair side to maybe a D plus. The match was not all that hot. It was just a typical Roman Reigns match. Um, Now talking about Gunther, we're gonna be talking about the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus CM Punk, and I'll talk about what happened a little bit later on after the match. I knew Gunther was going to lose because they are talking now that Gunther had a nose injury after the match. No, he had a nose injury before the match. In fact, it was actually broken that he was probably going to lose the title to CM Punk because he had a facial injury, which we all know now is a nose injury. But he did not receive that injury during the match with Punk. No, so sorry, I hate to break it to y'all. If y'all believe that, y'all stupid. Uh, but to be honest with you, the match itself was not that bad. Gunther does not. I think that's why they put the title back on Gunther to do the whole Goldberg fiasco type thing. I think that's why they put that load on him. Punk, I knew he was gonna have the title eventually. Now for only 5 minutes and 40 something seconds before Seth Rollins, who came on the scene with the Money in the Bank and the crutch thing. I mean, I find he's still a little. He must have tweaked his knee. He did not injure his knee. He probably just sprained it. Because even now, if you look closely when he's trying to get in the ring, he has a little limp on him. So I don't think that I don't think there was structural damage or anything like that. The thing with Seth cashing in the Money in the Bank, that's not really a surprise to me. Knowing that he was not as injured as that may have been a little bit of a head turner, but I mean, when they kept bringing up that he has a year to cash in the Money in the Bank, and I think Seth is gonna have the title for a little while because he's gonna have a go back and forth with, especially after what happened tonight. Uh, I think I think that this is actually the match of the night. I give this one maybe a B plus because of the Punk winning the title and then the Money in the Bank cash in. I like that. Um, but other than that, the whole first night was not all that hot. I mean, which match stood out to you? It certainly wasn't the Jelly Roll match. It certainly wasn't the Raquel match. And the semi match was just generic. So all in all, night one I give maybe a C minus because it was not all that hot. So I'm going to give you a review of night two in 1 second.